Hey everybody. So it's that time of the year. It's time for pumpkin spice, fall colors, apple cider, taffy apples, and Tinley. Yes! Woohoo! Yeah, Tinley is this weekend. So, if you can't tell, I'm super excited to go to Tinley. And while I'm sitting there, making plans and thinking about things, there's been a lot of YouTube videos out there over the last couple of years about, like the 10 things to do at Tinley. So my list is going to be more of kind of just from the heart and give you some pointers for Tinley, we'll say. So it's the NARBC show in Tinley this weekend for October 2023. Super excited to go, as I already said. In case you can't tell, I'm just like overjoyed to actually get there. A lot of things come to mind. And I guess the first tips and tricks, if you will, that I'll give you is plan ahead of time. So, yeah, it's Wednesday. The show setup starts on Friday. The show is Saturday and Sunday. So now might be a little bit too late to actually plan ahead. But I'm going to give you these tips anyway. So the first thing I would say is buy your tickets ahead of time. They will have a spot where you can buy tickets at the show. But buy them ahead of time so you're not one of the hundreds of people waiting in line to actually buy your ticket. It's just going to hold you up from getting in there and finding that beautiful animal that you want to add to your family or to your collection, or to your roster of breeders. Definitely buy your tickets ahead of time. And speaking of tickets, there's a couple of different tickets that are available. There's a general admission ticket, which will get you into the show for one day. I want to say that runs around $15. You can decide whether you want Saturday or Sunday, or you could buy both days. That gets you in during the normal show times. Doesn't include anything extra. But then there's also the VIP ticket, which is what I did for the last show back in the spring. Certainly was worth it, and that's what my wife and I are going to do this year. So we're going to buy the VIP ticket. It's $55. What that allows you to do, Friday is set up for the vendors, so it'll allow you to come in while the vendors are setting up. It'll also allow you to get in early on Saturday. There's special VIP times for you to get in, and on Sunday as well. It's definitely worth it. It's really not that much more than buying the two general admission tickets, but it certainly gets you in like an hour or more ahead of time for the 2-day shows. So I would definitely recommend buy your tickets ahead of time. If you are traveling from out of town, get your hotel reservations done early. It's probably a little too late to really heed that advice. What I'm going to tell you is, if you are staying in a hotel and you're staying anywhere close to the event center or even at the event center, I hope you've taken a second mortgage out on your home. No, I'm just kidding about that. But almost, I'm not. My wife and I started doing our research on trying to find the right hotel for us. She's way pickier about hotels than I am. I am, as long as it doesn't have bed bugs, I'm cool. I don't have to have anything special. I'm just sleeping there. But, she likes to have a little more, amenities, I guess we should say. So we started our research, and what I found was by golly, the hotel prices Monday through Thursday, pretty reasonable, typical Chicago prices. You could find them as cheap as $85 for like a Motel 6 or something like that, to as high as a couple $100 for like a Hyatt. However, Friday comes and that pretty much triples. So like the event center, I want to say the hotel rooms were like $350 a night. Around the event center, they're $300, $200, $195, $189. You get a little further away, the prices drop a little bit. So if you're okay with driving a little bit to get to and from the show, maybe consider that. There's a lot of really nice hotels around. Definitely check out some of the travel sites and find one that fits your budget. And just remember, the more you spend on the hotel, the less you have to spend in the show. So, plan ahead that way. The other part of planning ahead is have a game plan for, walking the show and what you're looking for. If you know that you want to add a new ball python morph to your collection, know what it is you want. Do you want a male or a female? What morph do you want? Do you want a well-started hatchling, or are you looking for an adult? Do you want to get it from Bob's Balls or Canova? Know who you want to buy it from. My biggest example for that would be when we started talking about going to the show. I started doing my research on what I wanted to add to my collection, and I would really like to get a Black Knight Mandarin project going. I have some mandarins for my leopard geckos. I have a Black Knight female, but I don't have a male to cross to that female. So I'll be looking for something along those lines. And I've been keeping a close eye on Morph Market and also bnmgeckos.com. I bought several geckos from Brett, so been really happy with what he has. So it was natural for me to actually go back and look at his social media to try to figure out if he has something that would fit the bill, which, by the way, he does. So I reached out to him about a week ago and sent him a message and just said, "Hey, you going to Tinley?" He replied back, said, "You know it, we'll be there." And so I hopped on, screenshotted a couple of geckos, asked him if he still had them, if they were still available, and would he be bringing those to Tinley. And he said, "Yeah, as long as I haven't sold them by Tinley, I will definitely be bringing them to Tinley." He also let me know that he was going to have some show specials. So not a bad idea to reach out to those breeders ahead of time. You could make arrangements to pick an animal up, purchase them ahead of time, pick them up. That way you're guaranteed to get what you want. You could even ask him, "Hey, do you know what your specials are going to be?" And if they're willing to honor that special ahead of time, you'll agree to go ahead and make the purchase now and pick it up at the show. A lot of the vendors might be more than happy to do that, especially right now because the industry, the hobbies, the economy's hitting it pretty hard. So, they might be a little more willing to go that extra mile to help you out. So that's what I'm talking about, being prepared. So the other part of being prepared is, what do you do the night before or the morning of? There's no easy way to say this, people. Take a dang shower and put deodorant on. This is a huge show. It is probably the biggest show of the industry, of the entire year. There's going to be like 10,000 people in there, and you're going to be butt to gut with every single one of them walking down the aisles. So take a shower, put deodorant on, brush your teeth, and wear clean clothes. Now, you don't have to dump a gallon of perfume or an entire can of Axe body spray on you. You know, that goes the other route. Either you smelling like chili dogs or you smelling like dime store perfume. Neither one of them is a good thing. You definitely don't want that. So, you know, good personal hygiene is a must. I'll just say that and kind of leave it there. The other thing is come prepared with cash. So the thing you have to think about, put yourself in the place of these vendors. These vendors have worked very, very hard to hone their craft to produce these living works of art. And let's face it, that's what they are. They're living works of art. And whether you're wanting to buy one to add to your collection or you're wanting your family pet, maybe little Johnny has drove you nuts for 2 years to get a leopard gecko because he saw one at PetSmart and just fell in love with it. And you don't want to buy it from PetSmart. You want to buy something a little nicer for him and have it be the family pet. Because maybe little Johnny, well, he has asthma or he has allergies, so he can't have a dog or a cat. So, okay, if you can't have that as a family pet, let's spend a little extra money and get something that's really, really nice for Johnny. Because, by golly, he got all A's last year. He started this year out pretty good, so it's time to reward him. Okay, bring cash. A lot of these vendors have the ability to take multiple forms of payment, whether it be like Venmo, PayPal, or any of those other e-payments, whether it be through credit card or debit card. Most of them have the ability. Not all of them do, but most of them do. But the one thing they all have the ability to do is take cash. And the old saying, cash is king, is very, very true. So not only is it great to have the cash to help the vendors out, but it also gives you a little bit of a stronger position in my next topic I wanted to talk about. So be respectful. When you're standing there talking to these vendors and, you know, they've spent all of their time, all of their money, all of their effort into producing this animal, and you walk up and you see that morph of crested gecko that they have is exactly what you want. They're $25 higher than the table down the row, but it's from a better known breeder. It's maybe a little bigger, maybe a little healthier looking. Well, be respectful. Don't look at them and say, your prices are too high. You're just ripping the public off. Because that ain't going to get you anywhere. Okay? Just say to them, you know, hey, I would really like to purchase this from you. You're $25 higher. Would you consider taking less for it? And have your cash. When you pull out that cash and say it's $200 their asking price and you want to get it for $175 and you've got that cash and you're standing there holding $175 in front of these vendors, it can be very hard for the vendor to say no. And if they do, continue to be respectful. After all, they've spent all their time, their hard-earned money, and their effort into producing that animal. They know what it's worth to them. And if it's not worth that to you, then smile, say thank you anyway, and go to that guy down the row and buy his. Hopefully, it'll end up being just as good. Sometimes it's better to pay a little more when you can get it from a breeder that has a wonderful reputation, that the animal is outwardly healthy. It's why I shop with B&M Gecko. Brett's animals are amazing. Not that this is an endorsement for Brett, but it's just a great example. there's going to be a lot of leopard gecko breeders there, and a lot of them are really fine breeders that produce amazing animals. I have who I care to buy from. It doesn't mean I'm not going to look at the other tables, and it doesn't mean that if I find something that I like, I wouldn't consider buying it from somewhere else. But certainly, I'm going to do what I think is the best decision, but I'm going to be respectful to every single vendor. And you know what? Don't hesitate to ask the vendors questions. Most of them actually enjoy the interaction, and they care about the animals they produce, so they want to know that it's going to a home that is going to care for that animal as much as they do. So, ask some questions. You should have done your homework ahead of time about the animal you want to buy and have a basic idea of how to care for it. Hopefully, have the housing already set up for it or buy it at the show. Some of the vendors even sell the housing, so you could buy your gecko and its cage, its environment, all at one stop. And that's not a bad deal. Gives you the opportunity to get that breeder's professional opinion on what he likes to see his customers use for the animals he produces. So, there's a couple of other things that I'd like to bring up here. We talked about, good personal hygiene, being prepared ahead of time, coming with cash, being respectful. The other thing that's pretty big and pretty important, please stop by USARK's booth and either join USARK, purchase one of their items they have, or just simply make a donation. You could walk up and hand them a $20 bill, a $100 bill, and just say, hey, I want to make a donation. These are the people who are fighting for your rights to actually keep the animals that you choose, in particular reptiles and amphibians. But lots of times the laws that come up that affect other animals, reptile and amphibians fall into, so USARK gets involved in those as well. These people are fighting for our rights. They are defending it every day. They are going into court and battling government's overreach. Whether it be state, local, or federal, they are on the lookout for us. And they have done so much for us in just the last couple of years. I can't even list it all. We need to support them. And we can support them by purchasing their items, making a donation, or joining USARK. These are a bunch of hardworking people. It's a great bunch of lawyers, professionals, a lot of the breeders and vendors that are at this Tinley event are members of USARK and support them in all they do. USARK is going to have, there's going to be an auction Saturday night that benefits USARK. They'll actually do an auction where they're actually auctioning off things, and they'll also do a silent auction. I would highly recommend that you stop by the auction. If you see something that you want, bid on it. I picked up my Black Knight I picked up last year, earlier this year. I ended up getting it for $55. It's an amazing deal. I mean, it was a steal. I was just over the moon. I didn't think there was any way I was going to get that. So you never know what you're going to pick up. But it is a good time. I will caution you, though, it's not necessarily family friendly. It's definitely more of a adult time. So I would think twice, 3 times about bringing your young children to it. It gets pretty crazy. It's a lot of fun. It gets pretty crazy. There's a little bit of drinking going on. There's a lot of cursing going on. And a lot of fun. A lot of good-hearted ribbing. And a lot, and I do mean a lot of money raised for USARK. So do your part and support USARK. Hey, I'm a poet and I didn't know it. So the last thing I got for you, one of the guys that I follow on YouTube is Brian Cusco. Brian's an awesome individual. If you haven't ever seen his channel, you should definitely go check it out. He's got, I don't know, 400,000 subscribers. I don't know how many he's got. He's got way more than me, which reminds me, hey, please like, subscribe, and share this video so we can grow the channel. Thank you. Now, back to the rest of the video. Brian announced one day last week that he was coming to Tinley, and that Mike Stefani of Mike's Monitors reached out to him and said, hey, Brian, can we have a prayer meeting before the event on Sunday? So if you are like-minded and would like to come spend time in prayer before the meeting, I would encourage you to do so. My wife and I are planning on doing that. I think it would be a wonderful thing. I am pleasantly surprised by how many people in this industry believe similar to me. Their belief system is very similar to me, to Mike, to Brian. And I think this is going to be a great addition to this event. It's not sponsored by NARBC, just to let you know. It's just kind of a thing a bunch of us are going to do. We don't know where we're going to do it at yet. Brian Cusco is going to actually post it on his Instagram, on his YouTube, and on his Facebook, I believe. So keep an eye out for that. Should be a good time. And I'm really looking forward to that. And I will be hopefully filming at the show. So if you see me and you want to, come up and say hi, definitely do. I would love to, hear about what you have purchased, or to meet you. And who knows, maybe we'll even get you into one of my videos. And certainly that could help grow the channel too. We'll get the word out. We'll have a lot of fun. And you know what? If you run into some of the other influencers, be respectful of them too. Be respectful of their time. They are there not just to enjoy the event, but that's actually their job. They're probably going to be filming. They may even get you in one of their videos. Dave Kaufman is pretty famous for especially young kids coming up to him when he's filming and saying, hey, Dave, look what I bought. And, he interacts with them and it does a short little interview with them and puts them into his videos. Which, given the opportunity, I'll do the same thing. I think that's a wonderful thing. And that's certainly encouraging the next generation of this hobby. This industry. You never know. One of them might turn out to be the next Dave Kaufman, the next Matt Baranek, the next Brian Barczyk. So, let's all have a great time and enjoy Tinley and check out my next video. I would imagine probably middle of next week I'll probably get it uploaded. Depending on how much footage I get, there may be 2 or 3 videos that I upload. But once again, I would love to meet any of you. And, hey, please like, subscribe, and share. Hit that notification button, and we'll grow this channel. I breed leopard geckos, and I think what I'll do is when we get this up to 500 subscribers, I will have a giveaway of one of my babies. So it will go to one of my subscribers. So let's work hard. Let's get it up there. Got a long way to go. I'm not even at 100 yet, but I think I can get there, especially with your help. So have a safe trip and I'll see you at the show.